In everyone's life, there are typically two major phases. The first is the period of schooling and working, and the second is old age and retirement. However, for many, reality is far from the peace we hope for. When we are young, we are constantly anxious about our future careers. As we enter middle age, the pressure of providing for ourselves and our families intensifies. And at any age, most of us face troubles in relationships and life's difficulties. When old, healthy seniors might spend their days going to the market, cooking, and looking after grandchildren. If not, they might be in hospitals, enduring the pains of illness, or the loneliness of old age when their children and grandchildren have their own lives. Some say that once you're old, life becomes monotonous. There's no more work, no more goals, passions fade, and life becomes merely a day-to-day existence, gradually heading towards decline. So, which stage are you in? No matter where you are in life, please take a moment to reflect. Is there ever a moment when you feel bored with your present, hurt in your relationships, or exhausted by a tedious and stressful job? And when you think about youth passing, do you feel fear or avoidance, thinking that you too will grow old, and not daring to imagine the rest of your life filled with sorrow, loneliness, and declining health? So, how can we, throughout our 60 years of life and the long years beyond, experience more beautiful things, maintain the joy of living, and no longer fear the flow of time? If you have such concerns, you can certainly find answers in the book I'm sharing today. The author, Mrs. Heru Michael, wrote this work at the age of 96, sharing all her precious life experiences and philosophies with sincerity and simplicity, helping everyone live happily, strongly, and wisely. You will realize that no matter your age, we can all be like Echo, living freely in time, transforming an ordinary life into fascinating, vibrant experiences. The author, a pharmacist in Japan, worked steadfastly every day at a pharmacy in Tokyo for 75 years, rain or shine, through scorching heat or heavy snow, with a compassionate and enthusiastic heart. She was recognized by Guinness World Records as the oldest practicing pharmacist. Pharmacy is a profession that demands a strong memory, as each patient is different and new medications are constantly being updated. Yet, Echo maintained her strength and clarity of mind to work until she was 90 years old, truly remarkable. Moreover, as a renowned pharmacist in the region, locals regarded her as a living Buddha of medicine. Customers would say that just meeting Echo made them feel re-energized. Despite having no powerful titles or esteemed medals, throughout her long years, she not only dispensed medication, but also formulated healing prescriptions for herself and others. These prescriptions are found in this book. No matter who you are, you can find a suitable prescription that will help you remain calm yet joyful, embrace new energy when facing time, no longer fear or dread repetitive, tiring, and meaningless days. Instead, you'll believe in the power of time to heal yourself and live a meaningful life. Hash a prescription for an interesting life. Lifelong learning, the secret to always having new experiences. A few steps from a Tokyo subway station, on a street corner, stands Himitsu Pharmacy, where Echo worked for 75 years. Echo once had a colleague who took an extended leave to raise her children, only returning to work at the age of 50. She was extremely anxious, saying, "I don't know the names of these new medicines. What should I do? I'm really worried if I can learn again." This statement evokes many emotions in me. In reality, many of us have experienced or are experiencing similar situations. Modern society develops at a dizzying pace. Technology and knowledge are constantly changing. Just a little older, and we already feel outdated and out of place. Environmental changes always bring us a sense of insecurity. Newcomers to the workplace or those returning after a long break, especially women who start families and have children, are often forced to leave their jobs for an extended period. When they return, they face new challenges. Not just changes in the job, but also self-doubt and anxiety about their competence and whether anyone will accept them. There are also older people who struggle with new technology, sometimes asking their children or grandchildren too much, only to be met with irritation, leading to feelings of sadness. But the author strongly asserts that no matter what age you start, people can grow and develop. At 80, Echo continued to learn every day. In her spare moments, while attending to customers, she would open her computer to research new medications and grasp the latest pharmaceutical knowledge. She said that feeling insecure in a new environment is unavoidable, but we should focus on doing well what we can first, then approach it with curiosity and effort to learn. Use steady action to alleviate insecurity. Echo not only learned about pharmaceuticals, but was also very proactive in exploring other new things. For instance, after computers, the internet, smartphones, and information technology rapidly developed, she actively learned how to use the new functions of her computer with help from young people, and even participated in online learning on her phone. According to her, whenever one is willing, people can always have new experiences. Nowadays, living to 100 is no longer rare. The period from retirement to 100 years old, lasting 40 years, is almost as long as the time from first entering society until retirement. These subsequent 40 years are our second life, absolutely not just the remaining part of our lives. During this time, if we can take on a new job, that is, of course, the most wonderful thing. We can also embark on things we couldn't do before, or challenge ourselves with anything new we're interested in, believing that this will surely be a fascinating time. There was a woman over 60 who, after her husband passed away, began experimenting with things she enjoyed. She then took on 2 jobs, teaching pastel drawing and daily gardening. Her life became full of interest and vitality. There was also an elderly couple who, after retiring, discovered a shared hobby and opened a coffee shop together. This is a testament to the saying, "The brave are those who enjoy the world first." Echo says that to maintain vitality and live a long, healthy life, we need to constantly face challenges. Don't limit yourself by age, and don't be afraid of time. As long as you are willing to embrace a spirit of continuous learning, every year, every month throughout this life will be an exciting journey for you, full of rich and meaningful experiences. This doesn't mean thinking that you're young now and don't need to try, or that it's not too late to start when you're old. Rather, Echo wants to advise us to carry this spirit of lifelong learning and treat each day as if it were the last. There's a saying that youth reads books like peeking at the moon through a crack, middle age reads books like standing in the courtyard gazing at the moon, and old age reads books like sitting on a terrace playing with the moon. Thus, each stage of life has its own joys and deeper insights. So, maintain the habit of regular reading and learning, acquiring new skills, or undertaking things you desire. As saying Ken Roach once offered a profound philosophy, do all that you want, as long as it does not harm others, and strive to draw closer to compassion. You will then see what comes next. Miracles, love, and boundless abundance will manifest in your life. Hash a prescription for relationships. Let go of others' judgments and don't insist on changing anyone. The philosopher Shen once said that human nature has a peculiar weakness, always caring about how others judge us. Indeed, often our suffering doesn't stem from the events themselves, but from internal conflicts within us. Echo discovered that being overly concerned with others' judgments and opinions is actually being overly concerned with oneself. When she was young, her father often taught her to pay attention to the eyes of those around her and the opinions of the neighbors. As she grew up, for a long time, she was afraid of being looked down upon, afraid of becoming the subject of gossip. However, as she aged and experienced many things, she began to change her mindset. From seeking others' approval, she shifted to focusing solely on her own self-development and work. This was her secret to maintaining peace and happiness in relationships. Therefore, she deeply hopes that young people, if they can understand and apply this early, will save themselves much wandering and mental exhaustion in life. Believe that as soon as you can truly let go of others' judgments, your mood will become light and immensely comfortable. In the book Chan Keen, Right View, there's a saying, "When you do not crave to attract others' attention, when praise does not make you arrogant, when criticism does not make you angry, when someone ignores you and you do not feel sad, that is letting go." Letting go of others' opinions is also when you truly begin to accept yourself, and you will gradually focus entirely on your own rhythm and pace. Each step will be filled with freedom, autonomy, and self-mastery. Next, another important healing prescription in relationships is not to insist on changing anyone. Learn to let go of others' judgments, and at the same time, don't complain, blame, or get angry at anyone. When communicating with others, don't argue, don't justify, but sincerely face them. No matter how irritated or displeased you are, we need to remain calm and refrain from voicing opinions. Because every time you express an opinion accompanied by judgment, it means that deep down, you still want to change others. The desire to change others is actually just a way to assert your position in the other person's mind, and more profoundly, it shows that we are still living too much within our ego. Living like that only leads to worries and self-inflicted suffering. The author advises that instead of trying to change others, learn to empathize and care with sincerity. She has a secret. Sometimes just one sentence is enough. Why does she emphasize this? Because if you say too much, it can lead to interfering too deeply in others' lives. For example, when selling medicine, Echo would often gently ask, "You seem much better lately, don't you?" Or, "Have you been feeling better?" Echo knew that most customers who came to buy medicine were suffering from illness or anxiety for their loved ones, and sometimes had no one to confide in. A sincere word of concern alone could make them feel warm and uplifted. She recounted an incident. An old man, 70 years old, came to buy medicine and said he would return later to pick it up. When he came back, the pharmacy was too crowded, and Echo couldn't give him his medicine right away, making him leave in anger. That evening, Echo went to his house to apologize, but he only replied perfunctorily and was about to close the door. Echo sensed something was wrong and insisted, yet with genuine sincerity, "Please, sir, listen to me for a moment. I am truly sorry for upsetting you, but if I don't know why, I won't be able to rest easy. Could you please tell me?" Finally, the old man opened up. "A few months ago, my wife passed away. I have to take care of everything myself, and I also have to buy medicine, so my mood isn't good. Thank you for your concern. I truly thank you." The truth is, all of us can sense sincerity or insincerity from others, and we ourselves know when we are sincere and when we are superficial. If you want others to treat you with sincerity, the best way is to give sincerity from your heart. Sometimes, just one sincere sentence can light a warm fire, warming hearts, and even saving a person. This philosophy of not trying to change others, but harmonizing with everyone with a sincere heart, made the people of that area love and regard Echo as a living Buddha of medicine in everyday life. She understood that change does not come from pressure or control, but from deep listening and empathy. The power of sincerity is boundless, for it can touch the deepest hearts of people. Not trying to change others is also a way to free ourselves from the burden of expectations. That freedom opens up space for us to live with love and understanding, helping you become more harmonious with yourself and the world around you. A prescription for the soul. The greatest journey in life is learning to love yourself. Some say Echo's life is a legend. Throughout her long life, she experienced war, economic crises, and after her husband passed away, she endured the pain of a white-haired person seeing off a black-haired one, losing a child. Yet, she never gave up hope in life, always striving to accept the present reality. Regardless of storms, rain, scorching heat, or bitter cold, every day she persevered at the pharmacy, maintaining positive connections with the outside world and those around her, embracing life with a passionate heart, not allowing herself to sink into negative thoughts when facing discomfort. Even at over 90, she did not become emotionally dependent on her family or grandchildren, but chose to maintain a loving distance with gentle boundaries. No matter how the outside world changed, no matter how much pain and regret she experienced, she always calmly accepted and grew through each moment, accumulated by time. Why could she live and maintain such a high-energy state for so many long years? It's because she had a secret prescription, the most important secret, called loving herself. She believed that the greatest journey in one's life is learning to love oneself. For her, life isn't about looking back at the past or longing for the future, but about treating the present seriously so that each day passes in a way she loves. In this prescription for self-love, she has 3 core ingredients. First is letting go. The word, let go, appears many times in this book. Besides letting go of others' judgments, as mentioned earlier, Echo also advises us that there are 2 extremely important things we need to learn to let go of: letting go of excessive desire for material possessions, and letting go of pain and regret, allowing the power of time to heal past wounds. Firstly, regarding letting go of excessive desire for material possessions, this means learning to understand that what we own is temporary and not the source of happiness. Simplify your life. It will make you live lighter and happier. But simplicity doesn't mean being overly strict or frugal with yourself. She also advises not to be stingy with yourself within the bounds of not being wasteful. Allocate reasonable expenses to improve your quality of life. This not only brings joy, but also helps us feel more fulfilled. For example, Echo spends on her body by drinking Enmi water every morning to maintain health. She also knows how to encourage herself by treating herself to a can of beer every evening to acknowledge the completion of a full day's work. Not only that, she also regularly takes care of her appearance, going to the beauty salon monthly to perm and dye her hair, and carefully applies makeup every time she goes out to feel more confident and love herself more. The second thing to let go of is pain and regret. No matter what difficulties you are currently facing or how profound a mental shock you are experiencing, do not let yourself drown in despair and memories, because when we cling to suffering, it only makes the soul heavier and hinders progress. As a quote I once shared in the video, Dare to be Disliked, says, "When injury occurs, it's a reminder to love yourself." The very title of the book also says it all. Time is the best healer. Give yourself time to recover, but also trust that time has the ability to help you get back on your feet and heal all deep wounds. During this time, find inner peace, turn your attention to yourself and your unfinished tasks. Remember, by letting go of past pains, loving yourself more, and focusing on living each day to the fullest, time will be your companion, helping you overcome everything. As you gradually let go, you will realize that things that seemed insurmountable turn out to be much lighter. Each day that passes is a step closer to peace, an opportunity to look at your life through a new lens, gentler, more serene, and full of love. Next, another ingredient in the self-love prescription is taking good care of your body and emotions. Echo observed her customers for many years and realized that healthy elderly people share a common trait. From a young age, they paid attention to maintaining a healthy, balanced diet, getting enough sleep, exercising regularly, and finding suitable ways to relieve stress. Most importantly, they had the ability to care for their inner emotions. Illness comes from the mind. As the book, The Body Says No, that I once shared says, the cause of illness within you are negative emotions like sadness, anger, anxiety, or fear that have accumulated for too long. Echo shares an effective way to take good care of emotions. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and encourage yourself. Don't constantly dwell on mistakes or losses. Learn to forgive and regularly affirm yourself. I am wonderful. I have done very well. I deserve happiness. I deserve the best things in this life. Such words of encouragement will help us become friends with ourselves. Finally, the last component of this prescription is habits. This will help you create a new space. Nowadays, many young people feel tired at work, pressured, bored, with endless tasks and continuous overtime, leading to anxiety, depression, and constant complaints. Some even wish to retire early for leisure, while others feel like going to work is like being in prison. However, Echo, who worked until she was 90 without ever feeling it was a burden, has a different perspective. She says that if you want to love your job your entire life, the best way is to turn work into a habit. Have you noticed that sometimes breaking a habit can make us feel incredibly uncomfortable? If work becomes a habit, you will no longer avoid or fear it. On the contrary, you will look forward to it, finding joy and meaning in it. Echo's work habit was to be the first to arrive at the pharmacy every morning and the last to leave every evening. She wanted to greet and bid farewell to every employee and customer. This was her ideal working state every day, and she formed the habit of arriving early and leaving late without feeling miserable. Instead, she enjoyed the process. Essentially, turning work into a habit is about finding interesting and meaningful aspects that make you voluntarily sustain it long-term. At that point, carrying out the work will not feel like a burden or an annoyance. But this doesn't mean you try to force yourself to maintain it at all costs. If work is too stressful, takes up all personal time, and contradicts your inner values, you should consider stopping. For finding a suitable job, you can refer to the book in the most recent video, The Method for True Happiness, or the book, Flow, that I once shared. Here, Echo wants to share with you that not only in work, but in every aspect of life learning, self-development, maintaining health, the more good habits you have, the more you will sustain your energy and vibrant vitality. However, habits cannot be formed in just a few days. If you set too big a goal from the beginning, you will easily give up after a few days. Therefore, start with small goals, with things you can easily complete regularly. For example, instead of setting a goal to exercise for 1 hour every day, you can start with 10 minutes a day. This will be easier to maintain. Read more and refer to the video for the book, Tiny Habits, to help you build this. And as you form more good habits, your mood will become lighter. Good habits not only create new spaces in your life, allowing you to experience a completely different life, but also gradually help you become excellent and sustain long-lasting joy. This is a summary of the essence of this book. Of course, reading the entire book and personally experiencing the author's sincere sharing through many specific stories will help you achieve deeper empathy. From there, you can find inspiration to change, embark on new experiences, and resolutely let go of what no longer serves your journey and mission. And finally, after all, through this book, I want to tell you that life is a journey of experience. Take time to learn to love yourself. When you truly decide to love yourself, time will give you the most wonderful answers. I wish you can fully experience every moment of time, making life filled with joy and love.